Okay. So as we move towards question time, want some implementation points from you guys as to how to get success with this, because it is a habit change. It isn't something that we can just turn on overnight and just automatically work in quad 2 going forward. So how do you, Ed? I'll start with you. How do you suggest really getting success for this as an individual and also across the organisation?
Well, firstly, you've got to lead it, right? So the owners have to lead. The leaders in the organization need to lead it. If you don't lead it, it's not going to happen by itself. And as I've said earlier on, the first thing you should do is to get everybody to write everything that they do in a day, in a week, in a month, in a quarter, in a year, down on a piece of paper. And then it's a bit of a game. You play this game with them and ask them to populate it into 1, 2, 3, and 4. And this will take several months to get right. And then you part of your training and stuff with the team is to get their mindset focused around, only in quad B. And this activity and continuous activity and continuous improvement is how you get there. And like I said, if you do 10 things 10% better, right, you get 100% improvement. You don't have to wholesale change things. You just got to do 10 things 10% better, and you get 100% improvement. So each person does 10 things and 10% better, and you start to get improvement.
Okay. So Jamie, talk to me about you guys implementing this at Sky, because you did it yourself, you did it as a leadership team. How have you done it more broader across the organisation, and what if any were the hurdles or the obstacles you came up against in getting success with it?
Yeah, I couldn't emphasize enough what Ed said around the leadership. So it needs to be at the owners of the firm or the partners, and then filter down through the organisation in that way. And part of that practical process is really just having a meeting and making it part of the agenda. And so someone needs to lead it. They need to explain the entire concept and the context as Ed placed the context earlier, and why it's important and why we need to look at it. And so I guess that's behind the why. And then from a practical point of view, just go through the exercises. Just get people to write down what they do over the course of a day, a week, a month, a year. And then once you've done that, split them between the quadrants. And then the leader needs to help guide in every consecutive meeting of reviewing the list. As Ed said earlier, the key is in the implementation. It's in actually doing it. So, you need to review your list, and ultimately, whatever you've classified as quad 1, you need to get rid of it. So if someone's held accountable, and when we say hold accountable, it's just a matter of discussing it, having the conversations and having the dialogue that you don't normally discuss, because, a lot of the time we're all so busy just trying to get the work out, and that doesn't help with change management. So it's making time for working on the business as the leader, but as also the team. So whether that's in a monthly team meeting, or however you want to structure it, get everyone together, do your list, and then obviously just say, you could go around the room. What we did was go around the room. Jamie, what have you removed from your quad 1 activities this month? And I'd say, yeah, look, I did this policy, I trained this person, and I took 5 things off my list. And so that's where you get the change. That's where you get the progress. Or, I formulated a new policy about not being interrupted in meetings, and then I communicated that to everyone that needed to know, and had everyone sign off on it. So yeah, there's one thing talking about the theory like we are, but the next step is then, okay, what are we actually going to do about it, and how are we going to go about it? Because we don't want the leader running out the front of the team and seeing the team like 10K behind. We always say, we want to bring everyone with us on this journey as a firm, and focus on movement. Don't focus on perfection, because if you'll get stuck if you think you want this perfect. So it's a process, and as Ed said, it's movement moving forward that we want. So that's the practical ideas of how to do it, Brent, and how to review it and hold people accountable to that change.
I just wanted to add, start by showing the team this video.
There you go.
Get them all in the room, just show them the video and then get feedback from them. And what you'll find is that 95% of them will say, yep, that makes sense, let's do it. 5% will then push back, and then you've got to lead. So leadership is not about, when someone pushes back, you give in. That's not leadership. Leadership is pick your battles. That's not the time. Then come back at it again when the timing is right. And then over time, the last handful of people will come on board, but you don't give up. You don't let someone who doesn't understand something shape where you go. So leadership is about persistence and consistency, and this is the right way to go.
Agree. And if you let your clients dictate to you all the time how your firm is to go, or you let the team dictate you, it's not about wanting to dictate, it's about wanting to do things better for everyone, like in the win-win relationships that's what we're about to build. But as Ed said, you have to lead and show people that, hang on, why is this way better? And walk through it together.
Yeah. And
so guys,
sorry, go on.
No, I'm just mindful of time. We've got about 10 minutes left, so I really want to allow some questions to come through if you guys are happy to. I've got a couple up my sleeve if everyone's shy, because I know we could talk on this for hours, but would love to open it up to you guys. What do you need to hear from us in the next 10 minutes to help you really implement this? Because look, who doesn't want to get a few hours back in their day to work on more productive things? So this is a topic that we really need to implement well over the coming months. And I think it's actually it is in a sense easier to implement, Jamie, because everyone understands the importance of it, and facilitating a discussion around the table once a month on moving your activities from one quadrant to another actually seems like something the team would look forward to almost.
In our case, we did. Yeah, in our case, once everyone understood the concept that it was going to move the entire firm forward and help us grow and help us scale and help us to enjoy our work more, based on, Dr. Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, then of course, we had little challenges along the way, but we always focused on solutions. Who do we need to hire? What activities do we need to change? And it comes back to sort of what I said earlier, Brenton. What does each person stop doing, start doing, and continue doing?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I think it's probably more a comment than a question, but feel free to give your thoughts on it. But the cultural policy of no blame comes in here as well, because I mean, if we're going to encourage team members to be honest, we do waste time, so we are going to be spending some of our time in quad 4, and I think it's important, and I'd like to get your feedback on your experience with this, but encourage team members to be honest with those quad 4 activities, because if we don't acknowledge it, we can't get rid of it, we can't improve it. So any experiences there or any suggestions on how to approach that?
Yeah, that's a really important point, Brenton. The no blame, blaming someone is a quad 3 activity. It's not important, but it seems urgent because you just want to put someone down or put them in their place. So it's a quad 3 activity. You just got to get rid of it. So and openly talking about it allows. And having a no blame culture allows people to feel safe in an environment to come up with the problems. And it's a bit like I've just come back from Japan from the World Cup, and over there they've got this thing called Kaizen, and it means continuous improvement. And they, unlike us in here in Australia, we don't like to get complaints, but in Japan, in that culture of continuous improvement, they look for complaints. The reason why they look forward to complaints is it gives them an opportunity to fix the problem. So they're focused on improving, and if they don't know there's a problem, they can't improve it. there's a cultural difference between us and them in terms of us not wanting to listen to a complaint. In fact, I was at a firm the other day and I said, "Do you do surveys?" And he said, "No, because I don't want to hear about any complaints." And I said, "How are you going to fix the problem?" And he said, "I don't want to know about it." You know, so it's a cultural thing.
Mm.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a really good point, actually, because I mean, Jamie, one of the things that's quite close to you, and you're quite passionate about, is the likes of client heartbeat, where you ask clients every year the net promoter score and a number of different questions, which is a quad 2 activity. But a lot of firms